sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Day 2 of baseball's Wild Card Series. Every pitch of the postseason available on ESPN Radio in Houston. Scoreless in the 5th between the Tigers and Astros. That game on ABC. Royals and Orioles Game 2 at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN, followed by Game 2 for the Mets and Brewers. Then at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2, it's Game 2 for the Braves and Padres. The Dallas County DA's office tells ESPN the case is closed in connection with Bills defensive lineman Von Miller allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. Head coach Sean McDermott on the significance of Miller's 4-game suspension.
We respect the decision made by the league, and really it's out of our control. And what we need to focus on is it's an opportunity for someone on our football team to step up.
Bills coach Sean McDermott. Patriots center David Andrews will likely miss the rest of the season. He will have shoulder surgery after getting hurt Sunday against the 49ers. Andrews is in his 8th season as a Patriots captain.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, we know Davante Adams is available, but I'll tell you what other players should ask for a trade. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's Hump Day. Yep.
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Astros are on TV. Paulie, are the Braves playing today?
It's Hump Day.
Well, they are.
Yeah, I don't care.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Because football season, Paulie, that's why.
Hump Day.
Hey, Muse.
It's Hump Day.
Yeah.
Are the Red Sox playing today?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No, Matt. It's football season. Why would the Red Sox be playing?
Hump Day.
It's October.
It's Hump Day.
Best month on the calendar.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
College football conference games.
Hump Day.
NFL in full swing.
It's Hump Day.
MLB postseason.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The NBA gets underway.
Hump Day.
Although nobody here cares, the NHL starts for the 6 people that do.
It's Hump Day.
Great time of year. All right, let's
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Let's get rolling. We got a lot to get to. Brandon Taylor will be here next hour. We'll talk some LSU safeties. Ross Jackson will join us in hour 3 to talk about the Davante Adams news. Russ Mitchell is here. A lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
We'll get to the Davante Adams latest here in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Open date for LSU. Brian Kelly met reporters Tuesday, was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference Wednesday. That's it for media availability for BK this week. We won't hear from him again until Monday of Ole Miss week. So Tigers going full pads as he said they would. A lot to work on. There were a couple of newsy things on Tuesday night that Brian Kelly talked about. He was peppered about Caden Durham's injury, and Brian Kelly is usually very transparent. He wasn't really in a mood to talk much about injuries on the open date.
Caden Durham, do you have any update on his injury?
Yeah, he's doing great. 100%, 1,000, million. He's doing chin-ups right now.
It happened when the lineman fell on him after the second touchdown.
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes, yep. Those linemen are so agile. Yep. You're not going to get much from me on injuries this week. This is a bye week, so you may not go down that road this week.
Although the media that were there did press because you have to. I mean, you have to ask the question. He said that they do expect that the guys that are injured will be back. That would, of course, include Caden Durham. One of the guys we talked about last week, it kind of went unnoticed, y'all. West Weeks, who had missed 2 games, returned and only played 4 snaps. We mentioned this, I think, on Whiskey and Wine on the postgame show, but West Weeks went in maybe the 3rd defensive series, and after about 3 or 4 plays, took himself out of the game. So he still needs, clearly, to get ready. Chris Hilton as well. So there's that. There was one other injury note that Brian Kelly was asked about that he talked about that I actually found pretty significant news, and that was that C.J. Daniels apparently had a knee injury that gave him a bit of a scare.
He had aggravated an old knee injury, but we got good reports on it. So we were obviously concerned because he had an ACL. It was not an ACL. So, but, again, those are things that, at first you're concerned. But it turned out to be the best case scenario for us.
Best case scenario, that's great news. And you may sort of you may downplay C.J. Daniels, and I wouldn't blame you for doing it because he hasn't necessarily popped. He hasn't found the end zone yet. But C.J. Daniels, y'all, has 20 receptions on. That caught me off guard a little bit. I didn't know it was that high. He's got 20 catches on the season already. That's 4th on the team. And look at the clump of pass catchers you have. Mason Taylor leads away with 28 receptions.
Mason Taylor!
Aaron Anderson, 27. Kyron Lacy, 25. And then you got C.J. Daniels at 20. So it's really those 4. Then you have a big drop-off till you get Xavion Thomas with 12. So the other thing that was really interesting to me when I was looking at some of the PFF stuff, C.J. Daniels, his overall PFF grade isn't great because he has 2 penalties, and PFF will really ding you for penalties. But his drop grade is an 86.3. That's the highest on the team, meaning he don't drop the ball. C.J. Daniels may not be the deep threat for Garrett Nussmeier. He certainly had explosive plays from Kyron Lacy, and Mason Taylor is the leading receiver on the team right now.
Mason Taylor!
In terms of receptions. Aaron Anderson has emerged, but you want a security blanket? I mean, C.J. Daniels on this season has been really consistent when you look at his game-by-game production. 3 against USC, 4 against Nicholls, 4 against South Carolina, 6 against UCLA, 3 against South Alabama. He's been there. And when you consider the injuries you've already had, Guillory, Perkins, Emery, all lost for the season, you can't lose another veteran player. And then you think about the receiver situation with Chris Hilton being out, they've really missed that deep threat. I'm not saying Daniels is that guy, but think about the depth and what happened when Kyle Parker went in. Then Kyle Parker injured his elbow, and we saw Shelton Sampson rotate in. Point is, you got a lot of young talent at receiver. You're still developing depth there as well. So I think that's actually really significant that they apparently dodged a big injury there with C.J. Daniels. The other significant newsy piece that Brian Kelly talked about, this was on the teleconference on Wednesday. He said they're moving Javon Toviano to the star position and then explained why they were making that decision.
And it allows us now some flexibility where, we can move Major Burns back to safety if we need some help back at the safety position, because we really believe he's really good, Toviano, closer to the ball in the line of scrimmage because he's such a sure tackler and he's assignment correct.
So sure tackler, assignment correct for Javon Toviano. I want to remind you, You heard BK say, like, they have moved Toviano around a bunch. I went back and checked my notes from fall camp. One of the late practices in fall camp, it was one of those 11-on-11 periods where the defense kind of got the upper hand and forced a couple of turnovers. There was a play where, you might remember this if you followed along through all of our fall camp reports. There was a play where Garrett Nussmeier was pressured, rolled right, and just kind of heaved one toward the sideline. Thought he was throwing it away, but P.J. Woodland made a beautiful, ranged over, made a beautiful toe tap interception on the sideline. It was Toviano at the star who brought the pressure. So they have been running Toviano at star even back in fall camp. So this isn't something new for him. But what I would say is maybe a little bit of a concern is in doing this, you heard Brian Kelly say, well, it allows him to move Major Burns back to safety. Y'all, Major Burns is a dramatically better player at star than he is at safety. He's currently the third leading tackler on your team. Because, and by the way, the highest grade that Major Burns has this season in PFF, and they grade it by coverage, box, tackling, pressure, all that sort of stuff. His highest grade is his tackling grade, Major Burns. His lowest grade is coverage. That's why we said all year, moving Major Burns to star makes a lot of sense because he's not great in coverage. This puts him at the line where he's physical and can tackle. You play him there. Well, I'm just using deductive reasoning here. If Brian Kelly's telling you we're looking at Toviano at star, so that lets us move Major Burns back to safety, he's telling you they don't like their safeties. And I'll remind you, the last 2 weeks, they've rotated 6 guys at those safety spots. It's been a big point of contention. And as a matter of fact, after the game Saturday against South Alabama, Brian Kelly talked about that safety rotation and was like, look, this can't happen anymore.
Tuesday we're going to put the guys on the field that we think can win SEC games for us. So what's that rotation look like? As we've said, and we've talked about this, we've rolled a lot of guys in there. We get to, 2 weeks from today, there's not going to be a lot of rolling. There's going to be guys that are going to be playing. So this has kind of been to try to get it on film and say, these are the guys that should be starting.
I'm curious if that means Burns is going to be starting at safety. I don't think that's the case. I think your best look is still going to be with Sage Ryan, Jordan Gilbert back at safety, or maybe if you want to play upside with Deshaun Spears, and then Burns at star. But if you have issues and you got to move Major Burns back, then you need an option at star, and it sounds like that would be Javen Toviano. I will point one more thing out to you. Toviano, he missed the opener, and then he missed the South Carolina game. Or he didn't play, I should say. He was dressed, he didn't play. He's had 21 total defensive snaps in 3 games. So Toviano has just not been on the field. Burns, 88 defensive snaps in the box, 115 in the slot, 18 attached on the defensive line, and then 31 at free safety. So 88, 115, and 18. You're talking over 200 defensive snaps at the line of scrimmage for Major Burns, 31 at free safety. They're telling you where he fits. But Brian Kelly is saying, and we might need to move him back to safety. It goes to tell you, that is just, he's telling you, it's illustrated here, it's everywhere. The biggest weakness on this defensive safety. They got to find an answer there, however that's going to look. And you better find it quickly because Ole Miss is coming in here a week from Saturday. All right, it's After Further Review. Our show is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. We're going to talk some Saints and Davante Adams here in just a second. Remember, on Monday, we will be at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBears for Monday Night Football, Saints at Chiefs, and we are giving 8 of you an opportunity to win a VIP experience. We'll be doing AFR there on Monday. Come watch the game. 8 winners and a guest. You get VIP seating. You get free food. You get all the Bud Light you can drink throughout the game. And also, we want everybody to come. So even if you don't win one of these VIP experiences, I was talking to my buddy Dan Palmer over at Mockler earlier today. Mockler has 2 tickets in the Bud Light Lounge in the Dome for raffle for the Saints-Rams game in December. So we're going to be giving away those Bud Light Lounge tickets for the Saints-Rams game on Monday night as well, but you got to be there to win. We're going to be giving away prizes during the quarter breaks. So even if you're just looking for, even if you don't win one of the VIP experiences, if you're looking for something to do for Monday Night Football, come hang out with us at LeBears at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook in Baton Rouge. And if you want to enter, Text the show with the hashtag Bud Light, L-I-G-H-T. Some of y'all misspell light, L-I-G-H-T. So hashtag Bud Light, and we'll announce our 8 winners on Friday. I'll keep reminding you here today, tomorrow, and Friday. We'll announce our 8 winners in the 5 o'clock hour on Friday. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, official beer of the New Orleans Saints, and the official beer of AFR. Okay, quick break. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in 30 minutes. We'll get to around the SEC. When we come back, the absolute latest on Davante Adams, who apparently has eyes longingly for the New Orleans Saints. We're going to talk about what it means next. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're having issues with your AC, make sure you give our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air a call. They're just the best. 752-0001, 752-0001. Where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. You know, I use that all the time. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime, and I love that slogan. Remember, they set a time to come to your house. If they're 1 minute late, you don't come out of pocket 1 cent. Like, think about that. They understand your time is valuable, and so they're going to be on time. They save you time. They save you money at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I know we're getting toward where we're going to start telling you about heater safety checks, but we're not there yet, y'all. And we're still looking at 89 degrees in Baton Rouge today on October the 2nd. So if your AC isn't keeping up, you have issues, call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, 1hourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge, and Shell are excited to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Tiger Stadium with our Draw to 100 sweepstakes. We're giving you the opportunity to join in the VIP-style celebrations on October 12th for the Ole Miss game. Sign up today at 1045ESPN.com. We'll live stream the drawing on October 10th, and the 100th name will win stadium club seats, sideline passes, and autographed memorabilia. It's the Draw to 100 sweepstakes presented by Shell, the rhythm of Louisiana.
That's really pretty cool. If you haven't signed up for it yet, that's a really great prize. So hat tip to our friends over at Shell who are putting that. I mean, so the Ole Miss game is going to be the 100th anniversary game of Tiger Stadium when they're going to do all the 100th anniversary celebrations, everything. And so this is like you're getting stadium club seats, sideline passes, and signed memorabilia, all courtesy of Shell if you win the drawing. So 100 names go in. It'll be a last man standing deal. The last name wins it. So anyway, you can go to 1045ESPN.com, like Muse just said, and sign up. It's free to enter. I mean, you might win field passes and stadium club seats and autographed memorabilia, courtesy of Shell. So big shout out. 1045ESPN.com if you're interested in entering there. Okay, it's after further review. Oh, real quick, I want to get to the Davante Adams stuff. Muse pulled this for us today. Ian Rappaport was on Good Morning Football. Saints, Chiefs, Monday Night Football, you know that. One of the storylines we're keeping an eye on, obviously, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Calici, LSU, first-round pick. I think we've talked a little bit about the story. Clyde's been on the non-football injury. Not even an injury. It's just, how do they designate? It's not non-football injury because he's not injured. Anyway, that designate. I think it is the non-football injury designation. But he's talked openly about PTSD from the shooting incident before the 2019 season at LSU. He's talked very openly about going to therapy for that. And so he's missed the first 4 weeks. So he's able to return now. And obviously with the injury to Isaac Pacheco, the Chiefs need options there, and Clyde would be an option there. Here was Ian Rappaport with the update on Wednesday.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the Kansas City Chiefs, the former first-round pick who, has been sort of off again, on again for the Chiefs. Remember, he was benched, or not benched, but taken out as a starter for Isaiah Pacheco, kind of leading to his emergence. Well, now they need him. Yeah. So he is back at practice after being on NFI. Wouldn't be surprised if he is active pretty quickly.
Okay, so it was NFI, non-football injury. So, and they expect him to be activated. So it looks like Clyde is going to play against. Looks like Clyde will play against the Saints on Monday Night Football. As that continues to move, we'll let you know. It's worth obviously following all that, and then on top of it, the Davante Adams situation. But remember, Saints and Chiefs Monday Night Football, so everything's moved today. Today would normally be your first injury report. That's moved to tomorrow. The Saints normally have practice and media availability today. That's all moved to tomorrow. Basically, everything is moved a day. So if Wednesday is Thursday. Thursday behaves like a Wednesday would. So just for housekeeping, so to speak. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you with us here. Hump Day Shows is always brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dining, carry out, or delivery. We'll get to around the SEC here in less than 10 minutes from right now. So on Tuesday, when word broke that Davante Adams and the Raiders were open to trading Davante Adams, we talked about it here. And I gave you my feeling on it. I think you have a guy that is a very productive player. Even a year ago, catching passes from Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy Garoppolo. Wasn't one of the Hoyer, was it Brian Hoyer, I think, who was there for a hot minute in Vegas as well? You can check me on that. I'm trying to think. There was another quarterback as well after Derek Carr. They've gone through it a bit. And despite that, he was still caught 100 balls a year ago. So Davante Adams is still a very productive player, which you can't really get over with. Or the part is, of course, you'd love to have the player on your team, but it's what does it cost to get him in terms of compensation, trade compensation, and then what you're going to have to pay Davante Adams. So if you're going to give up a second-round pick, which is the compensation the Raiders want, and then potentially player compensation, okay, are you willing to do that? For the New Orleans Saints, they have been one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. They did get younger this year by average, but this is the age 32 receiver who in the next 2 years of his deal would be age 33, 34. I do know the guaranteed money isn't there on his contract next year, but if you're not trading for a player like this, to not re-sign him. So are you willing to do a deal to extend a veteran player, paying him what's on his contract is $44 million each of the next 2 seasons? Are you willing to go that route, get of an asset to pay an aging player? I say if you're a contender, then the answer is absolutely, positively, unequivocally, yes, of course you're going to pay that player if you're a contender. That's why the Chiefs make a ton of sense. The Kansas City Chiefs need to replace Rashee Rice. I'm looking at NFL Live in studio right now. Rashee Rice needs more testing, so they don't know the extent of his knee injury yet, which feels odd. I mean, when you have MRI and all the different imaging that they have. But in any event, clearly the Chiefs are a contender. They could use a player like Rashee Rice. The big news of the day, though, with respect to Davante Adams, is that there are reports from Adam Schefter that Davante Adams has two teams high on his wish list: the Jets and the Saints. And it does make a lot of sense. Of course, the Jets are where Aaron Rodgers is. And Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers were teammates in Green Bay for 8 seasons. And Adams had an incredible 8-year run where he was considered among the best receivers in the NFL, if not the best receiver in the NFL during that period. Of course, when he left Green Bay, he went to the Raiders, where he was partnered with his college teammate, Derek Carr. They played 1 season together. Adams had another 100-catch season. Carr, of course, signed with the New Orleans Saints, and Adams has been in Las Vegas catching passes from you and me, effectively. Now it's Gardner Minshew. So, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. Makes a lot of sense. The 2 quarterbacks that he's worked with in the past, 2 quarterbacks that he knows and respects, those would be on his trade wish list if it could actually work out that way. What seems apparent, though, is that if Adams hasn't played his last game for Las Vegas, it's certainly close. It would appear close to that as the trade deadline nears. Davante Adams was a guest on the Up and Adams show. I don't think there's any relation with Davante and Kay. Can we get a confirmation on that, Muse? Do we know if there's any relation?
I can confirm that, yeah, there's no relation there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you know?
There's a pretty stark difference. Like, there's
one's a man, one's a woman?
No, there's just no immediate relation. Let's put it that way.
All right, here's Davante Adams on the Up and Adams show saying people are saying he's played his last down for Las Vegas.
All I can control is this talk we're having right here, and then after we're done with this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So I'm gonna get up in a minute and get a nice workout in, and that's all I can control.
There's another part about this that's a little odd. So Antonio Pierce, after the game on Sunday, said that players made business decisions. Raiders coach Antonio Pierce said some players made business decisions. And some of the speculation has been that one of those players that Pierce was talking about was Davante Adams. Well, Kay Adams asked Davante Adams about Antonio Pierce liking an Instagram post about a Davante Adams trade.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. So I haven't, I don't know. I don't really know exactly what that was about. Obviously, I got, social media is a beast. So it's a lot of people out there that saw it and, wondering what's going on and people reaching out. And I just keep my head down and keep doing my thing and, let the chips fall where they may as it pertains to that. But I haven't, there's been no communication with anybody from the team since that became a thing. But, it's kind of just like the weekly what's up with Tay thing. It's always some sort of drama. At the end of the day, 1-7 doesn't create any of it.
It is worth mentioning that Adam Schefter reported the Chiefs were expected to be interested, although Adams seems to have his eyes on either the Jets or the Saints. For a lot of obvious reasons, the Chiefs would make sense, as we just talked about. As far as the Jets, Aaron Rodgers was asked about, do you have that? Oh, you do have. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I missed it. It was here. This was back in July. This was at a celebrity golf tournament in July when Aaron Rodgers was asked about Davante Adams.
Do you think Luke Getsy's going to utilize Davante Adams good in the new Raiders offense?
I love Luke Getsy. He's a fantastic coach.
Awesome.
I love Davante. I can't wait to play with him again.
That was July. It's been unearthed in light of this news here in the last 24 hours. Listen, I don't know that the New Orleans Saints are the best option for Davante Adams. I don't know that I believe Adams is a great option for the New Orleans Saints. I will say, again, from a Saints perspective, I do believe Davante Adams undeniably makes you better. The two spots on this team that we've all talked about were the weakest were offensive line and wide receiver. We are all very high on Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed clearly is emerging as one of the top deep threats in the NFL. After that, what do you really have? I mean, when you went down to Atlanta on Sunday and you're trying to put together, a game-winning drive, you're throwing, against Philly last Sunday. When you went down to Philly and you're trying to put together your game-winning drive, the first play was a pass to Mason Tipton. I mean, it's an undrafted free agent out of an Ivy League school in a key spot in the game, and you're targeting him. He's not just on the field, you're targeting him. A.T. Perry's been injured. Cedric Wilson's injured. Do we really think Equineme St. Brown is an answer? You got two guys you like, nobody else. You had Davante Adams. Yes, he makes you better. The real question is, does he make you a contender? And for me, the really difficult part with that is I look at the New Orleans Saints, and I don't know that this is going to be a contending team because of the injuries on your offensive line. Can you really keep your head above water for 8 weeks while Eric McCoy is out? What I will point out, though, and hat tip to Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net. Ross has a great piece up that he wrote last night. If you want to check it out, I'd highly recommend it. He laid out why he felt the Saints should pursue Davante Adams. And one of the things that Ross did mention is while historically a trade like this would be outside of the Saints' character, going back to 2017, Saints traded Adrian Peterson for a 6th-round pick. 2018, they traded a pick for Eli Apple. 2020, they traded Kiko Alonso for Quan Alexander, if you remember that. 21, they explored a trade with the Browns for Odell. Didn't work out, but they explored it. 22 was when they traded to get Mark Ingram back from the Texans. And then last year, they pursued a trade at the deadline for Hunter Renfrow. So while historically this isn't what the Saints have, it's really been their MO, in the last 5 to 7 years, they have been dealers. They have been active at the deadline. So you have an opportunity to get a player like Davante Adams. Yes, you are absolutely, at bare minimum, are going to pursue something like this. We'll keep you posted. Ross Jackson is going to be with us in hour 3, by the way. Okay, it is after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Our show is brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. If you're looking to buy tires, get name brand tires at wholesale prices. Why would you buy tires anywhere other than where you're going to get them the cheapest? No matter where you go, if you buy a Michelin is a Michelin. A BF Goodrich is a BF Goodrich. This is a commodity. There's a lot of different places that sell the same thing. But Shawbills works to get you the best price possible, combining manufacturers' offers and their own in-house offer. As a matter of fact, they guarantee it. Buy tires at Shawbills, find them cheaper. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. It's part of Charlie's Dozen. But then they treat you like family, and that's the differentiator. You can trust Shawbills. That's why people come back year after year after year. They've created loyalty and have done that for nearly 60 years. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. Okay, we'll go around the SEC when we come back. If you want to get involved, you can email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. By the way, the text line is also where you can go to enter our VIP giveaway for Monday Night Football Watch Party this coming Monday over at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBears. Just text hashtag Bud Light there, and we'll throw them all into Hopper, and we'll randomize and draw on Friday's AFR. Okay, quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Two amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Always encourage you to go explore and experience the Renaissance Hotel. I tell you about Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel all the time. This isn't a hotel restaurant, right, with your common garden variety hotel restaurant food. This is a casual upscale dining experience that's there in the Renaissance. A beautiful indoor-outdoor flow. If you want to go after work and grab a cocktail or a glass of wine, their outdoor patio is a gorgeous area. The big, giant, circular, semicircle fire pit, which is a great place to sit and enjoy a nice evening as we hopefully getting into some of these cool fall evenings. But so many amazing food options as well. Their pork chop is exquisite. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Chef Jason Hebert curated this menu. He's from Baton Rouge, went to Redemptorist High. He's worked from Maine to San Francisco, points in between. He's brought all that culinary experience to Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
How you feeling about trivia today, Muse?
Haven't really given it a thought, Matt, to be brutally honest with you.
Well, thanks for prepping for the show, Muse.
How am I supposed to prep for trivia questions that I don't even know exist? This is not how that works.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to turn his mic on, Muse?
What?
This guy over here, man. Paul, he forgot, first of all, he didn't even remember how to turn on your mic.
It's just a button, Moose.
I mean, jeez.
Who was the third team around the SEC?
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
When do we do trivia? What day of the week?
That'll be Wednesdays.
Oh, what day is today?
Today is Wednesday.
Got it. So what you're telling me is Muse had no idea that we were doing trivia on Wednesday? You believe that?
I do not.
Yeah, me either. This guy, tell you what. You can tweet Muse and tell him how bad he is. At MuseOMatthew. And you can listen to his podcast, LSU Daily.
You should do both of those
When are you
things.
going to do video on this thing?
Yeah, I was trying to work on that this week.
I tell you,
I was trying to work on that this week, and because it was the bye and LSU was off, and it just hasn't really calmed down. Hoping tomorrow to actually get started on that. There's a few things that I have to take care of.
Paul's shaking his head at you. Are you starting a new channel, or are you going to do it?
No, but I'm not doing a new channel. But that's the thing. Good. I have to fix up that channel still.
That's the Muso at the Box channel.
Right, which Muso at the Box will still be on that channel as well.
Yes.
So for all of you who've already subscribed, just stay there.
Yes.
And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.
Got a lot of good content out there.
Man, I agree.
Muso at the Box will come back for baseball.
I can't wait.
We've got Muse doing LSU Daily, which I was doing until I resumed Locked on LSU. So if you if Locked on LSU as well, would love it if you go subscribe to that YouTube or podcast. And Hanny, how about Hanny and Richard Dixon doing the Hannycast?
Hannycast.
So for those that are unindoctrinated, if you're into film study and stuff like that, so Hanny and Richard Dixon, former LSU tight end Richard Dixon, they started the Handycast YouTube channel. The podcast has existed for a while, but they started a YouTube video. So on Mondays after AFR, they come into this studio with our video capabilities, and they do a film, about a 30-minute film breakdown of LSU against their opponents. So if you want to catch the film breakdown of LSU South Alabama, it's up on YouTube. Just search Hannycast, HANNYCAST. Please subscribe. So just full disclosure, you got to get to 1,000 subs and like 4,000 cumulative watch hours to be able to monetize it. So I think they're at like 500 subs. So I would love it if Charles Hannegriff at any point in your life has calmed you down listening to post game of an LSU game, or has given you any bit of entertainment, you owe it to Charles Hannegriff to go subscribe to the Handycast on YouTube. Don't even care if you watch. You just have to hit the subscribe button because YouTube they make you go to 1,000 to be able to monetize it.
Watch it too, though. It's really good.
I called Hanny and Gordy one time. This was 2003 when LSU beat Louisiana Tech.
Why did you pick that game?
Well,
what got you riled up in that game?
No, I wasn't riled up. So 03, we are really deviating here.
Yes.
But I don't care. We got some around the SEC, but maybe we'll just bump it. So in 03, as I've said many times, that was my senior LSU. Yeah, my years at LSU were Saban's years. So there's a lot of people say, oh, you hate Saban. I don't hate Saban. I revere Nick Saban. I hate that he went to Bama and won all those titles. I wish he had done it here. But I love Nick Saban. I strongly contain everything LSU's program has been over the last 20 years is because of the foundation that he built. And Les Miles carried it on, and Ed Ogeron won a title, and now Brian Kelly's continued winning. And I think there's many more winning years ahead of LSU, but it's because of Nick. So I love Nick Saban. That season, 2003, the LSU defense was so incredibly dominant. And they played Louisiana Tech. And that was a Louisiana Tech team. And that was, I think maybe Tim Rattay. Can you check that? Just look up 2003 Louisiana Tech. I think it was Tim Rattay. And they were a high-powered offense. And the thought at that point in the schedule was, look, LSU still had to play Ole Miss, and that was Eli, and Ole Miss was very good that year, and that the LSU defense was really going to be tested when they went to Oxford and played Eli and that Ole Miss team. But Tech was a bit of a different animal because this was before everyone spread it out and slung it around. They did that, and LSU just suffocated them in that game. I just looked it up. It was 49-10. And so that was the game. I called Hanny and Gordy on the postgame. I was not working here. I was a college student. I called Hanny and Gordy on the postgame, got through, and just said, I'm not worried at all about the Ole Miss game because if they did that to that Louisiana Tech offense, I don't think there's a single offense that's going to be able to move the ball on this LSU defense. So I picked my spots, and as it turned out, I was right. LSU beat Ole Miss 17-14, and one of those touchdowns that Ole Miss got was a pick six on the first offensive series of the game where Matt Mock threw a little pick in the flat, was returned. And they didn't get in the end zone, but one more time the rest of the day. So subscribe to the Handycast. What do you got?
When I was,
Flippity blip.
Yeah.
Yep.
What were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Louisiana Tech. Who's their quarterback in 2003?
Luke McCown.
How about
Luke
that?
McCown. Yeah, how about that?
When was Rattay? Luke McCown.
We could look that up,
but
too,
that was a time. Oh, here's the box score. That was a time where, and Max Causey was their backup.
Yep.
Max Causey from West Monroe. They beat the ever-living mess. Was that the same Max Causey out of West Monroe? They beat the ever-living mess out of us in the 1998 semifinals. If that West Monroe team won the national championship in high school, and I've always respected Don Shows for this, because if Don Shows wanted to score 1 million points in that game, West Monroe could have scored 1 million points in that game against us. By the way, this past Friday, Catholic beat West Monroe like 38-10 or something like that. Take that, Will Blackwell. Shove that in your pipe and smoke it. All you friggin' 18-year-old freshmen at West Monroe. Jose Altuve hit a home run.
Oh, look at that.
All right, it's after further review. Muse, we're supposed to do, we got to get to Taylor.
Yeah, let's just move
South Point Volkswagen, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Thinking of buying a vehicle? South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. That's where you go. All the IIHS top safety picks, the great safety designation, the red tag sales event still going on, best inventory, best prices, best people. Buying a Volkswagen's fun, y'all. Shop them today. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, quick break. Bourbon Dictionary, Taylor Calandro. We'll move quickly. Got booze questions. Get them in. Taylor's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, y'all get on by Clegg's Nursery, y'all. October the 2nd, it's officially here. You can put away all your flip-flops and swimsuits and everything like that, y'all, because it is now fall. I get it. It's 89 degrees. But it is fall because the calendar says it is fall. It's October. It's time to go to Clegg's Nursery to grab those pumpkins, the hay bales, the squash, the gourds, all the awesome fall decor. They've got the setups, and every single day that they get new inventory, they're really good about posting it all on their Facebook page. So if you're interested in finding any of those fall plants or the fall flowers, plant your fall vegetable garden, our friends over at Clegg's Nursery have just an awesome selection. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Our friends at Clegg's have been doing it for more than 60 years. So get on by and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
For the review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat as well. If you're there on YouTube, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Taylor, how are you?
I'm well, Matt. How are you?
Doing awesome. A little nip in the air a couple days last week. That's good whiskey
wonderful.
sipping. A little whiskey sipping weather. Not today, though. It's 90 degrees right now. What's new?
Well, it's 90 degrees, so we've got two new seasonals that are actually not really fall seasonals, but they're fall seasonals for 90-degree weather. Unholy Roller from Urban South. It's a double IPA with blood orange. It's got a spooky can.
Okay.
It's really good, too. I tried it over the weekend. And one of the drive-through series from Parrish Brewing, the Jungle Juice. It's a Berliner with pineapple, strawberry, lemon, lime, and one other fruit I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I tried one of those over the weekend too. It's just really fruity. It's a light, tart little sour, but it's great for this weather, this fall weather.
Yeah, man. But before you know it, the temps will turn and it'll be full-on whiskey season. I was talking to Erica last night. I remember last year on Halloween, it was freezing. So
yeah, it's you know, I was thinking about that earlier for some reason. It seems to be like that for the past few years. I feel like
Halloween.
Yeah, the really cold weather on Halloween.
I mean, I can always just look at our pictures with Drew, and I can tell based on what I'm wearing if it's cold or not.
Yeah.
Like last year was freezing on Halloween. All right, let's get to questions. Email, tweet, text. Scott says, hey, Taylor, a wild turkey rare breed barrel proof, is it worth $49.99?
Yes. I love anything barrel proof, and I mean, I love wild turkey. So, yeah, for $50, that's really hard to beat. It's a good, just full flavored bourbon.
You want to talk about barrel proof? Remind people what that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically what the whiskey comes out of the barrel at, and it can vary. And some people say cask strength and barrel proof. It's all basically the same thing, but it's just basically it comes out the barrel. They filter it and put it in a bottle, and that's what you get.
Scott says, Taylor, I just got Little Book Chapter 8. Thoughts on it?
I haven't tried Chapter 8. I'm trying to remember the makeup of it. If it's the most recent one, I think it's a blend of older bourbon, and it sounds fantastic. No, but I haven't had the chance to try them yet. Those have gotten expensive and way less plentiful. They were never plentiful to begin with, but they've gotten a lot harder to get.
Tell people what Little Book is.
Little Book is Freddie No. Freddie No is the son of the master distiller of Jim Beam currently, and the grandson of Booker. But this is a project, like his first project at the distillery. He's around my age, like 35, 36. And he does blends of different things. They're kind of off the wall. Some are older American whiskey or bourbon that they have. Some are malts. It just depends from chapter to chapter what they are. But this is his first dip into blending. So, yeah.
Are you getting Scott said he'll bring it for you to try, the Little Book.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would love that, actually.
You know where to find him. You're going to be on at Perkins, yeah?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. What were we talking about?
Booker, Freddie, no.
Doggone it. I had a follow-up, and I can't remember what my follow-up was. Are y'all getting any allocated? Oh, I was going to ask about the raffle. Do we have raffle dates or info yet?
I do have the date, and I don't remember it. I talked to Gordy about it a few weeks ago, and I don't remember it.
Awesome.
But I'll look, and I'll have that for next week.
Are you starting to get allocated stuff in?
Yes. And we should be getting some Penelope allocated stuff in the next couple weeks. Valencia and Rio are coming back around.
So Penelope sold last year, right?
Yes, to Constellation Brands. No. They sold back to MGP. They sourced from MGP, and then MGP bought them. It's a kind of confusing deal. You have to read it about it. But, yes, they sold for $100 million.
Not bad.
Very young distillery, too.
Not bad. Not bad.
No.
Let's see. Ask Taylor, what do you know about this one? Well, they didn't leave a picture, so that's not going to help. Ask Taylor, are you hiding any Weller 12 behind the counter?
Whew, no, I wish. And Weller 12, we used to get a case of Weller 12 in the fall and a case in the spring. That has become like a couple bottles here and there. It's become very, very hard to get. So, no. The answer is no.
Ask Taylor, best beer from Amsterdam?
I'm trying to think what is from Amsterdam. I was in Amsterdam 3 years ago. I can't remember which ones are from Amsterdam. I think Heineken. Heineken is probably the best beer from Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you going to say anything else?
No.
Okay, you can say that 30 seconds, so we'll just go. Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Y'all hit him up. And, of course, we do Bourbon Dictionary here every single Wednesday where you get your booze questions in. Thanks, dude. We'll talk next week.
All right, Matt. See you.
Give me the raffle dates. Of course, the rare whiskey raffle is coming up. We'll do it usually around in December. Raising money for great charities, so we'll let Taylor give all those deets when we can. But they were they're the godfather of the whiskey raffle in these parts. So we're looking forward to it every single year and being partnered with them. Okay, Sports Center. We'll kick off hour number 2 next. AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh yeah, they do shutters as well. Maybe before the holidays. This is a good time to think about this. If you're going to be having family over for the holidays, good time to get those indoor shutters done now before your family holiday parties, before Thanksgiving at the house, whatever it may be. Relief Windows, they can do it all. Remember, with Relief Windows, lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. And we're talking about those shutters. The shutters, not only do they add beauty to your home, but they're also going to make your home more energy efficient. I mean, this is a scientific fact that they will help keep your home cool during the winter months or the summer months and warmer, keep the warmth in during the winter months. And, of course, they're going to increase your home's resale value as well. Learn more at ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Day 2 of baseball's Wild Card Series. Every pitch of the postseason available on ESPN Radio. In Houston, the Astros and Tigers are tied at 2 in the 8th inning. That game on ABC. Royals and Orioles game 2. Kansas City leads 1-0 in the second. That one on ESPN, and it'll be followed by game 2 for the Mets and Brewers. At 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2, it's game 2 for the Braves and Padres. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports if Raiders wideout Davante Adams is traded, 2 of the teams he'd like to join are the Jets and the Saints. Jets coach Robert Saleh was asked today about how to correct his team's mistakes.
Depends on who you talk to. I personally know they're men. They want to be treated like men. They already know they messed up. They don't need to be embarrassed. They need to know how to correct it. And I don't think doing push-ups is teaching a guy how to correct it.
Robert Saleh of the Jets. The Chiefs are reportedly not in the mix to get Davante Adams.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, we know Davante Adams is available, but I'll tell you what other players should ask for a trade. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Former LSU safety Brandon Taylor here in 15 minutes. I want to ask BT about the LSU safety position, which has been the biggest point of contention on this defense. We all know the interior of the defensive line. They're playing well, but just you don't have a super high ceiling. The defensive ends have actually been outstanding this year. At linebacker, the injury to Harold Perkins stings, but Whit Weeks is playing his best football, emerging into a young star defensively. Greg Penn has been solid. Major Burns in a hybrid role as your third leading tackler. While your cornerbacks haven't been great, Zy Alexander and Ashton Stamps have certainly been serviceable. Not great, but serviceable. The problem has been your safety play. So we'll talk to Brandon Taylor about that coming up here shortly. Brian Kelly did meet with reporters on Tuesday, and as far as the defensive line, forgive me, he was, as far as safety, we talked about last hour how they're moving Javen Toviano to star so that if they need to move Major Burns to safety, they can. I told you we charted Toviano playing star in fall camp. So that's not new for him, but he's only played 21 defensive snaps all year. Now, I did get a text on the show text line that said, they interpreted, here it was, Matt C. said, Matt, I interpreted Toviano to star as being the second string to Burns, and Burns able to move to safety in case there's an injury at that point. I agree with you. I still think Major Burns is your starter at star, but you're going to go through this week, and if you don't feel like you're getting adequate safety play, it might be the veteran who played 5 years of college football who moves back there, Major Burns. And Kelly was asked about the freshman Deshaun Spears, who I told y'all in fall camp. Spears was a guy that I thought physically reminded me of Eric Reed. I'm not saying he's going to be an All-American or first-round pick. I said physically as a freshman walking onto the field, he reminded me of Eric Reed. And it wouldn't surprise me if by November he was starting at safety. Well, he got thrust into action much sooner, and he started the last 3 games at strong safety. And Brian Kelly kind of talked about the development he's had there early in his freshman year.
You know, Spears is a good tackler. He's long, he's rangy. He's in the right place at the right time. He's feeling his way through it a little bit as a freshman, but when he gains even more confidence, you're going to see him continue to grow.
And confidence comes with experience and playing time. So that was really the point of this last month, was to say, get out there, kid, cut your teeth, see how much you can continue to improve, and hopefully by the time you get into the middle of October, you're not a freshman anymore. You've played enough football to be competent and called upon. So I'm fascinated to see what they do at safety when Ole Miss comes in here a week from Saturday. All right, y'all. So we'll talk about that with Brandon Taylor here in 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoni.com. Hey, real quick, I'm not going to tell you about anything having to do with eye care or anything along those lines today. The Williamson Eye Center are the presenting sponsor of Federalis Fest, which is this weekend at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge in Baton Rouge. It's back for the second year. Federalis celebrates our Southern musical roots with national, regional, and local acts. It's a mixture of country, rock, Americana. It's family-friendly. It's under a covered area, by the way, although the weather should be beautiful this weekend. A perfect event to enjoy the fall weather on a bye week. There are VIP and general admission tickets still available. Visit federalisfest.com, Federales, federalisfest.com, to get yours before they sell out. So the Williamson Eye Center Lamar, they're proud to support and bring the arts to our community at this one-of-a-kind music festival, so don't miss it. Again, the big bands are Whitey Morgan and the 78s, Dragon Smoke, Daniel Donato's Cosmic Country. Muse, you a fan of them?
Never heard of that.
So Dr. Blake is a huge Americana music. Like this is like his wheelhouse. Okay. So he's proud to support it. So Dr. Blake Williamson, incidentally, also does a shift. I believe it's on. It's not KLC. I think it's Downtown Radio. Like he does like a shift where he plays this song. So it's very much a passion project. So anyway, Federalis Fest this Saturday at Live Oak at Cedar Lodge, presented by the Williamson Eye Center. Tickets at federalisfest.com. Muse stumbled upon this earlier today. Muse was like, I found a mock draft. I'm like, so what? Everybody's a mock draft. I was like, it's Pro Football Focus. I'm like, yeah, it's still Pro. Well, it was interesting because this is Trevor Sikkema. Remember Trevor Sikkema, the quarterback? Wasn't he a Northwestern Wildcats quarterback, Trevor Sikkema?
I'd have to look it up.
I'm almost positive. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Trevor Sikkema is actually, there's a former Northwestern quarterback that is engaged to Alyssa Lang, and I think it's Trevor Sikkema. If I'm not mistaken, you can check me on all that connected dots. Sorry if I screwed that up, Alyssa. But anyway, Trevor Sikkema, who works for PFF now, put out his mock draft, and I think this got a lot of people's attention because he's got Travis Hunter going number 1 overall. Now, my opinion of that is that's fundamentally absurd. Travis Hunter may very well be the best player in this upcoming draft. Whether he plays cornerback or receiver or wherever he settles in, that's fine. But what we just all know about the NFL, and especially the NFL draft, the value of quarterbacks, so quarterbacks go number 1 overall. Unless if there's not a surefire quarterback at number 1, then you're going to choose an edge rusher or left tackle at number 1. It's not going to be a receiver cornerback at number 1. The highest rated cornerback, or the highest a cornerback was ever drafted, was 3rd overall. So you're not going to see a cornerback go number 1. Anyway, it was also interesting because the way that they laid this out was what would be the projected draft order today. Like if the draft were held today based on NFL results through 4 games, where would you be picking? So they have the Jacksonville Jaguars picking number 1 and the Dolphins picking 2, the New England Patriots picking 3, which may actually happen. So Hunter number 1, Jalen Milroe 2 to Miami. God bless whoever takes Jalen Milroe number 2 in the draft, but whatever. The most interesting thing here, How about number 3? It's got Will Campbell going 3rd overall. So there's been this conversation back and forth about would it be Will Campbell or would it be Kelvin Banks out of Texas, the 2 best offensive tackles, the consensus best tackles in this draft, Campbell, Banks. It may come down to workouts, interviews, who has the pick. It's just, do you like blondes or brunettes? 2 great players, whoever's going to go higher. But Campbell, he has going 3rd overall. Remember, Mel Kiper's big board had Campbell as the 17th best player on his big board. That's not a mock draft, just a rating of players. But he's got Will Campbell going to New England there. The other interesting thing within this mock draft was where was Harold Perkins. We talked about this after Harold's injury, that it was going to be interesting to see what teams elected to do. By the way, he does have Emory Jones going 24 to Detroit. So Will Campbell 3 to New England, Emory Jones 24 to Detroit. And then 2 picks later to Seattle, he's got Harold Perkins. The quick write-up reads, this is more of a projection pick, but the more I consider it, the more it makes sense. Perkins is a gifted and explosive athlete. His best work as a freshman came as a pass rusher, but he's not quite big enough to play on the edge full-time in the NFL. Over the past 2 years, he's transitioned to off-ball linebacker to maximize his speed. Unfortunately, tore his ACL earlier this season. Still, imagine a world where Mike McDonald has that kind of speed anchoring the middle of his defense. So, one of the big questions has been with Harold Perkins, would this injury cost him a first-round grade, cost him the opportunity to be a first-round pick? At least according to this mock draft, they still have him there in round 127 going to Seattle. If you're interested, as far as the Saints, I thought it was funny because while they arranged this mock draft based on where you would be picking if the draft were held today, this is probably where the Saints would be picking anyway. That's just where they got to pick in 13. Abdul Carter, the edge out of Penn State. Saints need some new juice in their pass rush group, specifically off the edge. Carter's coming along in terms of pass rush plans, as well as an off-ball linebacker before this season. Has the best explosiveness and bend in this class. So potentially a spot for the New Orleans Saints, which I'd think edge rusher could be a spot that they address. Carl Granderson has been one of the most effective pass rushers in the NFL this year. The problem is, for Cam Jordan, we've seen Cam at a time in his career where he never came off the field. And when you look at Cam Jordan's snap counts this year, it's just very indicative of what he is now as a player. The decline just came very rapidly. Cam in week 1 played 27 snaps. In week 2 played 34 snaps. In week 3 against Philly played just 20 snaps. And then this past week against Atlanta, just 20 snaps. So it's not that long ago when Cameron Jordan never came off the field. Now you're talking about a guy that's averaging 20 snaps a game. Just 2 years ago in 2022, I'm looking at a snap count per game. 61, 53, 49, 60, 35, 42, 48, 42, 39, 49, 48, 56, 55, 62, 45, 47. That's just 2 years ago. And now you're talking about a guy that's taking about 20 snaps a game. So, yeah, you need to be considering the future off the edge in New Orleans because Cameron Jordan is just as a player who's nearing the end of his career and is more of a role player. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Do some Pluckers trivia here in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll see what Muso knows. Muse just hit the one in the middle. It's getting to be that time. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean at all. I mean, we're not aiming at anything. Why would I hit the one in the middle?
When things get a little fuzzy.
But we're not aiming at anything.
Start seeing multiple.
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I think you know what I mean.
It's a trivia.
Paulie, you know what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on, Muse. It's only 4:13, Muse. You didn't get started early today, did you?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Brandon Taylor next. It's AFR.
After further review.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Hey, y'all, if you're heading home from work, pop on into Rouse's. Remember, if you want to save time, you need those few grocery items before you hit the house, hey, punch up the Rouse's app, select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them up for you. You pull into one of the designated spots. They bring it right out to your vehicle. By the way, as long as you spend $30, that's a free service over at Rouse's. So check it out. Download the Rouse's app. When you're on the Rouse's app, by the way, you can also make sure that you check out the weekly ad for their discounts and the weekly specials. And, I love telling you about great success stories. And Rouse's has certainly been that for 100 years. But they continue to grow. A couple of weeks ago, they opened in Picayune. And coming up here in 2 weeks, the grand opening of their Biloxi store is coming as well. Love to see it. It's Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Brian Kelly has been pretty adamant, pretty open. Safety's a spot where these Tigers have rotated and rolled a bunch of guys in here over these last 3 weeks. And the time for rolling guys in and out is over. It's time to decide who's going to be the players. Nobody better to talk to about this team in that position in particular than a guy, Brandon Taylor, who was an all-conference safety on the 2011 LSU team, that great defense, and now part of the LSU Sports Radio Network, keeping tabs on the Tigers. BT, great to have you back, man. How are you?
What's going on, Moscona?
Hey, man, I'm good. Hey, let me start with a big picture. 5 games into the season, if I asked you, what's your overall takeaway of the safety play to this point, what would you say?
It's it's gotten fairly better, and I expected that because you got he's an old DB coach, but you got a new DB coach, and you got new players coming in as far as transfer portal, and you just don't know what to expect. So you couldn't put many expectations on them. It was kind of a slow start, kind of sloppy, but the way these guys have been progressing each and every week, it's been better, a lot better than last year. It's a complete different look, but you still want to kind of want to know who's the solidified guys and keep those guys on the field and simultaneously rotate them, not just all the way throughout the game.
Go back, BT, if you would, for a second. So you said you could see they're getting better. You're obviously watching through a different lens that you having played and know this stuff so well. Make it make sense for someone like me who doesn't know what I'm looking at in safety play. But when you say they've gotten better, say from week 1 to now, in what ways have you noticed they've improved?
From last year, I see that we had at least 4 or 5 busted coverages a game. When I say busted coverage, I mean man wide open, and you got 3 DBs standing around each other throwing their hands up in the air. Nobody knows what's going on. And they have a better sense and knowledge of the playbook, it looks like, because you don't have a coach coming in the media blasting them, talking about, oh, we got to dumb the playbook down and we got to simplify the playbook. You haven't seen that this year. So just from that standpoint alone is an improvement. And just seeing how these guys they're tackling better, but it's not perfect and it's not to the LSU standard, but it's better than what we've seen. And at the point where we've been the past 2 years, I mean, you got to take what you can get right now, but these are still a lot of young players out there playing on the field.
Was the defense last year really that? Because Brian Kelly has said that they've tried to, especially with some of the young guys, they've tried to simplify in the defense, right? They want to get them to play with good leverage and know their responsibilities and all. Was it really that complex a year ago?
No, it was not. And I don't know why. That's a fault on the coach. When you come to the media and say stuff like that, why? You don't have to say that. You don't. That's where you lose your locker room, man. Because if my coach came and said that in the locker room, I'm not gonna bite my tongue as Brandon Taylor. I'm a quiet person, but if I got something to say, I'm gonna say it. And then at that point, I'm gonna say something like, "It's your job. You're not a coach. You're a teacher. Coaches are teachers, and it's your job to have your players prepared. So if they're ill prepared on the field, you getting $100 million, big dog. Why are they not prepared? So that falls on your plate at that point. Now, if the players aren't living up to the standard on the field by their play, they're wearing the shoulder pads and the helmets. That's their fault. So it's two sides to every coin. So you just can't say you dumbing down the playbook because it's trying to simplify the playbook because of such and such. But maybe you should teach and coach harder and not just try to find a escape route or a escape route and stuff like that. That didn't sit well with me. Brian Kelly's a good coach, a great coach, but that right there didn't sit well with me.
Brandon Taylor is our guest, former LSU safety. Let me talk about some of the personnel, BT, because one of the things that Brian Kelly did say this week is that they're going to move Javon Toviano to star, so they have the option of moving Major Burns back to safety if they need him there. Do you think Major Burns is better at that star position, or is he better back playing free safety?
Major Burns need to be as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. Major Burns has all the measurements that I wish I had. He's tall. I wasn't tall. He's long. He can run. He can fly. He can fly. He can run. He can outrun just about everybody on the defense. But it's almost like he's kind of played like whenever there's a bad play happening, he's around. And you got to, as a safety, you kind of want to get out of that trend. So in order for him to get out of that trend, he needs to be as close to the line as possible because in space, he's kind of lacking in playing in space as far as tackling in space, fitting gaps in space, and in coverage, he's been lacking a little bit. So I would try to keep him as close to the line as possible, and that's what he thrives at.
Yeah. Look, I mean, he's one of the, he's, I think, third leading tackler on the team, and Pro Football Focus grades him out. His highest grade is his tackling grade. His lowest is his coverage grade. So that's sort of.
And that's you play to his strengths. Don't try and make him something that he's not. He's not a cover safety.
So then
I was a cover safety because I moved from corner to safety, and it just felt natural to me. He's not a cover safety, so don't try to make him that. He can run. Put him close to the line of scrimmage and let him run sideline to sideline.
So why?
Put it like this: him and Weeks running sideline to sideline is scary.
Okay. So then why do you think – so then, like, piece this together for me then. So if it's very clear, like they moved him from safety to star, it's his best spot, why then do you think they're interested in potentially moving him back to safety?
That there I have no idea about, which he does have experience playing the safety position, and I can see that, which Corey Raymond kind of leans on having a more veteran guy back there when you got a lot of young players, just for it's like communication purposes and communication-wise. And I think they're trying to rotate guys into every position because we're getting into the nitty-gritty of this schedule. Like October and November are the strap-it-up months. Like, this is where you make or break in the SEC, and they want to have as many guys ready as possible. As you can see, the injuries we've had to veteran players in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Got a couple more for you, BT. Let me ask about the young guy, the freshman Deshaun Spears. What have been your observations of him starting the last 3 games and playing as much as he has here in September?
He's been holding his own. It's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard to come in as a freshman and to contribute in LSU. I don't care how many stars you got, what you came in with. It's a hard thing to do. But when you playing for a coach like Corey Raymond, you come to LSU to play. You don't come to ride the bench. You don't do nothing. Raymond is known for putting freshmen on the field and throwing them to the wolves. That's the only way. That's in his coaching style. That's the only way you can learn is by getting that experience on the field and learning from your mistakes. I want you to make mistakes as a young player because if you don't, you will never be known how to come out of that adversity when you put in that situation again. So I think he's going to hold his own, and I think that the ceiling is the future for that man.
I mean, if I asked you, who do you think, like, if you got to set the lineup, what do you think is the best secondary for LSU from what you've seen through 5 games? What you know about these guys? Does Sage Ryan, Jordan Gilbert fit in? Is it Deshaun Spears? Like, how would you piece it together?
I would start Jordan Gilbert. I would start Jordan Allen and Stamps and P.J. Woodley. And I would rotate Major Burns and Sage Ryan as a star. Major Burns for run purposes and Sage Ryan for passing purposes.
Okay. You left out Zy Alexander at corner, who's kind of, I thought, has kind of been LSU's best guy. Why would you go Stamps Woodland without Zy if he's healthy?
You rotate them 3 at the corner position.
Okay.
But those are the only people I would have playing corner. Truth be told.
Okay.
Sage Ryan, they tried it. He's not that. Like, at some point as a coach, you got to understand when you're kind of forcing it.
He played BT. Sage played 51 snaps at corner in the opener against USC. He's taken 1 snap at corner since. I think they got the message. Like, that ain't gonna be a spot. Why Jordan Allen? What do you like about Jordan Allen back there?
I mean, he's just I like the fact that these young guys are flying around, and when they're on the field, they're not blowing big coverages and they're not making big mistakes. And that right there is my foundation. Okay, I see that you know the playbook. You're communicating. Everything else is show me why you were a 5-star or 4-star. Show me why I recruited you to LSU. That's all when your athletic ability comes in and your small things comes in. As long as you got that foundation that I know you know what you're doing and you're not nervous, and you can lock in and not blow big plays, if you can go out there and not give up a blown coverage or a big play, I can work with you then. That's why I'm looking toward the rest of the season and the future. It's time for guys to separate themselves, and you can see like kind of little small things about players. Like me and Hunt still joke to this day about Jamar Chase as a freshman. He would always catch that out route within the 20-yard line, and he would never score a touchdown. And I told Hunt, I said, hey, next year when he pops, he's going to go crazy, and he's going to be the best wide receiver in the country, and he was. And it's just little things that you catch as a player, like with certain players, and it's like, okay, he got that it factor. He just hasn't matured as a young man yet.
Well, they need somebody to step up in that safety room here with Ole Miss coming in. Last thing for you, Brandon Taylor's our guest. If I asked you, man, from what you've seen game 1 to game 5, now going into the open date, I mean, how do you think this defense can hold up against that Ole Miss offense?
It's all going to come, and it's all going to depend on the front seven. You have to hit Dart. You have to. If you go back and watch Kentucky's film, which, oh, my God, that defense, them boys play ball on that defense. Kentucky defense, I would burn that film up. I would watch it from sunup to sundown. If you hit him, it's a known fact with Dart, and it's a known fact with I'm drawing a blank. Ole Miss head coach
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin. If you put pressure on them, if you jump on them early, they will break. They can't come from behind and win a game. He can't. He can't coach his way out of a hole. But if you let him get up early by blowing plays and everything like that, which we got 2 weeks to prepare for him, they're going to have trick plays. He's going to throw the house at us because he got embarrassed last week, and now he has to show the country that they're still a playoff team. So we have to be on our P's and Q's, and all these DBs and this front seven, they're going to have to get up to this quarterback, and you just can't be back playing zone coverage. You got to blitz, and you got to hit him.
Man, you're right. They had 2 weeks to get ready for it while Ole Miss has to go to Columbia, South Carolina. BT, we saw that South Carolina defense, man, against LSU. They'll hit you too. So Ole Miss has a pretty physical game coming up this weekend before they come to Baton Rouge.
Oh, most definitely, because that front seven for South Carolina, they got some freaks over there. But it's just, I just think we got a better edge on that because we're a more disciplined team as far as not getting stupid penalties as far as our front seven like South Carolina did, because they literally gave us the game with penalties as far as 15-yard penalties.
True,
with the interception that they ran for a touchdown, like just making bonehead plays. But I think if we get after that quarterback from Ole Miss, it's going to be lights out for him because we're going to score.
It's going to be a raucous atmosphere, man. Looking forward to being in Tiger Stadium. Brandon Taylor, former number 18. You hear him with Hunt and Big Fave on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Thanks as always, man. We appreciate the time.
All right, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. We'll catch up soon. Brandon Taylor, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, y'all check them out over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, we're in October, getting closer to the holidays with every passing day. Maybe this Christmas you're going to drop down on bended knee. It's time to start thinking about that ring. Lee Michaels has helped all of Louisiana get engaged for more than 30 years now. lmfj.com, 2 locations in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, of course online as well. Hey, look, if they don't have what you're looking for, they can get it or they can make it. It's one of the great things about doing business with Lee Michaels, where they work so hard to give you that Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, well, now I got a quick break. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. We'll do a little Pluckers trivia with Muse when we come back. Get the Tigers and the pros. The big story of the day that we're watching, of course, is Davante Adams. He reportedly has the Saints and the Jets at the top of his wish list. Our buddy Ross Jackson, Locked on Saints, and LouisianaSports.net will also be here with us in 30 minutes from right now to give us his take on the Davante Adams situation and Russ Mitchell in Hour 3. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Okay, y'all. Action Industries still in recruitment mode. Looking for 100 to 125 people to work these turnarounds that they have 2 turnarounds, all the work local here to Greater Baton Rouge. They're looking for welders and pipe fitters and boiler makers, crane operators. If that's you and you're interested, you got to get in touch with our friends over at Action Industries to apply today. You can apply online, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com, or you can apply in person at their Highway 30 office in Geismar. Again, Highway 30 in Geismar, Action Industries. Just go on into the office, ask for Zach. He'll take your application right there. 4 to 5 week turnaround, working 7/12s. Want to make that money in time for the holidays? There's a chance to do it. It's Action Industries. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
And the Davante Adams thing is, while I'm looking at PTI right now in studio, which team is the best fit for Davante Adams? I mean, it's all anybody's talking about. So our guy, Ross Jackson, will be here in 22 minutes. We get his take. Ross has a great piece up right now at LouisianaSports.net if you want to read it. I know it just went out on a push notification on the 104.5 ESPN app. By the way, if you haven't downloaded our app, please do. One of the things that we are going to start doing is integrating our LouisianaSports.net via push notifications. So if you have the app, make sure you have the push notifications turned on. And if you don't have the app, download it. Of course, you can listen to our shows, live, podcasts, whatever. But we'll start sending, when we have news and breaking news and information, if you want to be the first to know, we'll have push notifications on there as well through the app. So download the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app. All right, glad you're aboard with us here All right, so Hump Day. Hump Day show is brought to you by Pluckers. Means we do Pluckers trivia. Hit him, Hughes.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia, every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right. Hughes?
Yeah.
You got a shot at 3-0, but you're going to be tested.
Okie doke.
Knowing what I know about you, your likes, dislikes, background, interest, all that sort of stuff, you got a shot at 3-0, but you're going to be tested. These aren't layups, but you can do this.
Is there a theme? Like we have?
No.
Okay. Just oh wow. All right.
I have sports, I have history, and I have pop culture.
Okay.
You can do this.
Okay.
But you're going to be tested. All right, Muse. When a football referee places both hands at their chest, elbows out, slides them forward with their palms facing down, what is the call?
Illegal shift?
It is an illegal shift. A lot of people confuse illegal shift and illegal motion.
Yep.
Illegal motion, one hand. Illegal shift, two hands. All right, Muse. That's a tricky one. Like, that's probably 50-50 for a lot of people, which is which, right? Okay. Here you go. Here's the history one. That was the one I would have been very disappointed if you didn't get.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that I would have been.
I mean, I did think illegal motion, but yeah, I mean, the illegal shift is the two. Yep.
The lost Roanoke colony was established in what present-day state?
Virginia.
It's not Virginia.
What?
Give yourself a buzzer. The answer is North Carolina. It's the lost Roanoke. You're thinking Roanoke, Virginia. You went a little too quick on the buzzer there, Muse. North Carolina was the answer. That's all you're going to be tested because you're a history man. Aren't you a history minor?
Minor.
History
Not
minor.
major.
So I said you were going to be tested. You were a little quick on the draw there.
Is it really in present-day North Carolina?
Yes.
Huh.
All right. For a winning day. I told you were going to be tested.
Yeah.
You could do it, but you were going to be tested. And you were so quick. I saw you reaching over there for the ding. You were reaching there for the ding.
Before,
before you even finished. That's why I said it was going to be tricky.
The lost colony of it, but I thought it was still in Virginia. I thought it was still in Virginia. I thought that's why they had a Roanoke, Virginia.
Well,
not because it's that Roanoke, obviously.
You know what they say about thought, huh?
No.
Thought he fart, but he actually pooed his pants.
Oh, I've actually never heard of that.
What singer's real name is Stephanie Germanotta?
Lady Gaga.
That is Lady Gaga. See, you got 2 out of 3, Muse.
Yeah. I wouldn't have got the Roanoke one, though, because I would have never guessed North Carolina.
Okay. So what we've learned about Muse here is that he is a big Lady Gaga fan.
She had some, dude, man, she had some tunes. I don't really know any of her newer stuff, but the older, Just Dance, Paparazzi, Alejandra, those were bangers.
The 3 you just mentioned are probably the 3 least Lady Gaga songs. 3 Lady Gaga songs that I like the least.
Oh, dude, those were great, man. I mean,
I would go like with Poker Face.
Poker Face, like great song.
I like. By the way, I have nothing against Lady Gaga. She's amazing. By the way,
great voice.
A lot of people I think have probably seen this, but if you never have, do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube and search for Stephanie Germanotta at NYU. This is before she was Lady Gaga, the persona, and she's playing a set on stage with a piano. You know what?
You shouldn't do it. Yeah, I got you. We're gonna kill this bed.
Let's see. This here we go.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta switch.
This would have been this was 14 years ago. So I don't know. You pull that up there. We're not gonna play a lot of this, but hit it. Can you have it?
She's composed 2 original pieces for us, and she's gonna come out and perform them right now. So listen up.
All right, let's see. Stephanie Germanotta. Here she is. Before she was Lady Gaga. Have you ever seen this?
I've not.
Oh, really? Look at her like with dark hair and just in a dress and dressed and looking very normal.
I like the dark hair.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
She's incredibly talented. It's absurd.
A little Nora Jones feel there.
The taste of your skin.
You know?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Far Cry. Bad Romance. Great one. That's a great song.
Anyway, shout out Stephanie Germanotta. Super talented. It's like T-Pain.
Yeah.
File it under the who would have known.
Hey.
Who would have thunk? T-Pain. Great singer, that T-Pain.
Incredible.
If you never heard T-Pain without the music, what's it called? A music box?
Auto-tune.
The auto-tune without the auto-tune. T-Pain. Go search T-Pain singing the national anthem. Hey, we're running by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Tilly, that's Terry O, that's Joe Morales, Trent Davis, our whole crew. Love to help our friends and neighbors. If you got an issue with your roof, think you might, give us a shout. Parish Construction and Roofing will service all of Louisiana. So no matter where you are in the state, we can come to you. Parishbuilt.com. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage. We'll get right in touch with you. If you'd rather just call, you can do that, 364-1007, 364-1007. I do have a lot of people that keep asking me for Parish hats. If you want, you can just pop one into our office on Lavo Lane, right off of Highlandia in Baton Rouge, running parallel to I-10. Pop into the office, just go right there to the front, say, hey, Scone said I could come get a hat. And they'll give you a hat. So feel free to do that if you'd like. I'm going to bring a lot of Parish hats as well on Monday to our Monday Night Football watch party. One other thing, hat tip, I love this. So if you've driven down I-10, you've probably seen our sign. We're on I-10 directly across from Blue Bayou. And our sign lights up, and so at night it lights up, and we could change the colors. Well, of course, yesterday, October 1st, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we're lighting the parish sign pink at night in honor and in memory of all of those women, our women, our mothers, our wives, our sisters and daughters and aunts and friends who have battled breast cancer. Mama Scone is a breast cancer survivor as well. So to all those who fight, have fought, continue to fight, we salute you. We love you all. Here on this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And do business with someone you know. Parish Construction Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Okay, let's not get a break. We'll wrap up hour number 2. Mucildew Tigers and the Pros. Ross Jackson in 15 minutes. Russ Mitchell's here in hour 3. Ton to do. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential. Think real estate. Think Darren James. I was checking out social media earlier. Darren James at some conference somewhere presenting some national real estate conference because that's what Darren does. When you are a number 1 in the state of Louisiana, when you're the number 13 realtor in America based on the number of homes closed, yes, you get an opportunity to go all over the country and present and speak at conferences and whatnot, and that's Darren. So what I would tell you is one-on-one is what I say here on air every single day. If you're thinking about selling your home, why would you call anyone other than the realtor that literally sells more homes than anyone in the state? That's Darren James. 335-7666. That's Darren. Sell. 335-7666. Don't believe me? Call him, text him right now. Say, hey, Scone gave out your cell phone on the air. Is this really Darren? He'll reply, I promise. 335-7666. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Remember, tomorrow will be kind of like the Wednesday of the week for the New Orleans Saints. So tomorrow, Thursday, is when we'll get the first injury report, and we'll get a better sense of a lot of the guys who, the Saints either didn't have last week, like DeMario Davis, Cesar Ruiz, and then we'll get a better sense of the guys that were injured in that game. Of course, you lost Taysom Hill during the game. You lost Tyrann Mathieu during the game. So we'll get a better sense of all that. Willie Gay, what is his status after posting the photo of his arm in a sling, leaving what looked like a hospital or some type of medical facility. We'll get a better sense of all that when the Saints are back on the practice field. We have media availability, the first injury report coming up on Thursday. Okay, right now, Musso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, game number 2 of the American League Wild Card Series in Houston, Texas. Alex Bregman 1 for 4 today. We got Jeopardy. Oh, we got Jeopardy on again? Yeah. Oh, we got the video clue. I like that when they just put a still of some dude's face up there. I like Jeopardy, man. Big Jeopardy guy. No, but I don't think anybody heard that.
Everybody should be watching WBTR Channel 19.
There it is. Anyway, Alex Bregman went 1 for 4 today for the Astros, but Houston lost. So they got swept. They're out. So Alex Bregman's postseason is over. While it was short, he did hit .375 with 3 singles in the postseason. Now we await his...
Bregman's time in Houston appears over.
We await his next move.
Get you some Wild Soul Salsa, SOL, exclusively at Rouse's, by the way. There's a muse right there with a little... you got a hat right there, too.
Got a hat? Oh, yeah. It's all tucked behind the computer. We'll get the hat next time when we announce his next destination here on Tigers in the Pros.
Got it.
Odell Beckham Jr. returns to practice for the Miami Dolphins. Or I should say debuts at practice with the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel made the announcement at his Tuesday media availability that Odell would be back on the field come Wednesday. Signed a 1-year, $3 million contract in the offseason with Miami, but of course has been dealing with a slight injury that has kept him out so far, but we'll keep you updated there as he gets set to make his return. Malik Neighbors not at practice today. A full DNP per Coach Brian Daboll, and now the injury report as well. Malik dealing with a concussion. Coach Daboll says he's in the very early stages of concussion protocol. So we'll keep you up to date there on Neighbors' status for the Giants as they prepare for their Week 5 matchup. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, make your first call, First South Farm Credit. Hey, it was good enough for the first pick of the draft, Ben McDonald. It's good enough for you and me. Ben's first call when he was buying his hunting property in Mississippi was First South Farm Credit. Of course, your first call to First South Farm Credit, you could begin by going to their website at firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. How many lenders actually write a check to their borrower? At First South Farm Credit, they've done that every year for the last 29 years. It's their patronage refund program whereby they're cooperative and they share their profits with their borrowers. It effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. So if you got a 5% rate, it's effectively like having, say, a 4% rate. Anyway, learn more at firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get involved in the show. Muse, one of the things, sort of an underlying tone there, not tone, but a theme in the that Astros-Tigers series. Mm-hmm. Of course, the manager of the Tigers is A.J. Hinch.
A.J. Hinch, yes.
So A.J. Hinch, who was fired by the Astros because of all the sign stealing and the trash can banging and everything, got back into baseball and is now in Detroit and took his Tigers to Houston and swept Houston.
A.J. Hinch, man, he's a great manager.
He's a great manager.
He's a great manager.
And the only thing I'm a little bummed about there for Detroit is our guy Langer, man.
Yeah, I know.
Lang had the UCL, so he had TJ, so they shut him down for the year. And Detroit's going on this little, I don't know, I would call it a run, but first time Detroit's in the postseason in a decade.
A decade.
Right? Yeah. So maybe Langer will get a taste of that postseason.
They didn't have to
year.
see JV, though. That could have been interesting, too.
Yeah. He's old. He stinks. He's married to Kate Upton. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, Michelli, Michelli.com. ISO 17025 accreditation. I say that all the time, and some of you go, what does that even mean? If you don't know, then it doesn't matter. But if you know what that is, you know why it's important. Michelli does it. Michelli.com, Michelli.com, Michelli. I would highly, highly, highly recommend if you weigh or measure something in any of a dozen different industries. You can go to the website and tap the industries tab at the top, and you'll see all the different industries that they serve, from agriculture and aerospace and aggregates and everything in between. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They're our nation's largest distributor of scales. I'll tell you that all the time. So people who are looking at weighing systems, they know Michelli. What a lot of people maybe don't know is that they can service your precision measurement equipment as well. And if you have equipment that can't leave your facility, they have mobile calibration labs where they can come to you. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out online at Michelli.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Every game of the baseball postseason is available on ESPN Radio. Right now in a game also on ESPN TV. The Royals lead the Orioles 1-0 in the 5th inning. Kansas City going for a wild card series sweep. In Houston today, the Tigers with the bases loaded in a 2-2 game in the 8th.
Swing and a liner down the left field line into the corner, and that's a fair ball all the way to the wall. In to score Beerling. Keith is in. Torkelson rounding. Play at the plate. He dives in safe.
Dave O'Brien on ESPN Radio. Andy Ibanez with a pinch 3-run double. The Tigers sweep the Astros 5-2. They'll play the Guardians in the division series. At 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, it's Game 2 for the Mets and Brewers. 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2, Game 2 for the Braves and Padres. Dolphins linebacker Jalen Phillips will miss the rest of the season with a knee injury. Bucs wideouts Trey Palmer and Jalen McMillan both out for tomorrow night's game against the Falcons.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, we know Davante Adams is available, but I'll tell you what other players should ask for a trade. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Russ Mitchell here in 15 minutes from right now. Story of the day that everybody's following in the sports world. All-pro wide receiver Davante Adams looked like he wants out of Las Vegas and has 2 preferred destinations. The Jets with Aaron Rodgers and your New Orleans Saints, where he would reunite with Derek Carr. Ross Jackson, Locked on Saints, and, of course, our guy over at LouisianaSports.net. It's been all over it. He joins us now. How are you, man?
Hey, buddy. Doing great. Glad to be here with you.
Let's start with what we know as of right now. How interested does it appear Davante Adams really is in New Orleans, and is there reciprocation?
Yeah, it seems very much that the interest for Davante Adams in New Orleans is there. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that the New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets were the highest teams on his wish list, which makes sense because of the connective tissue here in New Orleans. A lot of people will talk about Derek Carr and the connection there from their time at Fresno State together, as well as with the Raiders. But then, of course, there's Keith Williams, the wide receivers coach, who plays a big role in Davante Adams, not only profession but life as a whole. So there's the connective tissue there. And I think that acknowledging that connective tissue and understanding that just a few days ago, head coach Dennis Allen was just saying that the team needs somebody outside of Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill to come in and be able to, or step up rather, and be able to make plays. I don't think that player necessarily has to be somebody within the building. They could potentially reach outside the facility, and Davante Adams would certainly check all those boxes. So I'd imagine that would generate interest from New Orleans, in addition to the relationships that are already established within the building.
Okay, let's talk about feasibility of a deal if the Saints were interested. Reportedly, the Raiders would want a second-round pick and other considerations. Any idea what other considerations means?
Yeah, I think if you look at wide receiver trades around the NFL over the past couple of years, a pretty common comp for or amount of trade value, trade capital move there is typically a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. You look at the Stephon Diggs trade when the Buffalo Bills sent him to Houston, second-round pick, fifth-round pick from the same year, and then a sixth-round pick for the following year. And so that's a pretty typical sort of a piece. So I think the additional sort of piece that might mean that there's other considerations beyond just that second-round pick, which could be other draft capital, could be players that are involved in the trade as well. But I don't think that it's anything that's outside of what the New Orleans Saints would be able to provide. And typically these trades nowadays in the NFL happen with draft capital moving to one team in exchange for a player.
Let's talk about about the contract. So let's say they are able to work out compensation for Davante Adams, picks, players, whatever. What does that mean for New Orleans financially?
Yeah, so this is the other part where the additional considerations might end up being a larger part of the conversation, is that, look, New Orleans has about $3.26 million of salary cap left at this moment in terms of open salary cap. And Davante Adams is due a little bit over $13 million, we'll just say for the ease of simplicity. That changes as more game checks get paid out and things like that. These players are paid out on a weekly basis. So the later in the season that you trade for a player, the quote-unquote cheaper they become because their contract effectively prorates. It's like moving into an apartment in mid-month as opposed to at the beginning of a month. And so that's the way that this kind of contract will end up being impacted the longer that it takes for a trade to happen. And the minimum of what that's going to look like is just over $8 million, which would be after that, which would be at the trade deadline. So the sooner he gets traded, the more expensive he is. The later he gets traded, the cheaper it becomes. But in either case, the Saints don't have enough, right, in terms of getting him in under their salary cap. So what they would probably have to do is work with the Raiders of getting, to get the Raiders maybe to eat a little bit of that salary, and then maybe even, as a part of the trade, rework or restructure his contract to get him in under the salary cap. The Saints could also help themselves out by giving Alvin Kamara his extension, which I think is something we all believe that he deserves, because in the midst of that extension, they could also knock some of his 2024 base salary down, which would give them a little bit more salary cap space as well. So the Saints can do it salary cap wise. They just might need a little bit of help and might need to do a little bit of work elsewhere in order to make it happen.
So Ross Jackson's our guest, Locked on Saints podcast. Of course, make sure you subscribe there. And he leads our Saints coverage over at LouisianaSports.net. There's also the question of the future of the contract. So he's got $44 million on the books for 2025 and 2026. That's a gigantic number. How do the Saints make that make sense?
Yeah, so some of that travels with him, some of that doesn't. Some of that's money that's already been paid out by Las Vegas, and that's just kind of prorated. Some of that's workout bonuses and things like that. But the good news for New Orleans or any team that would be acquiring Davante Adams is that the wealth of that contract, $35.6 million next year, $36.6 million in 2026, non-guaranteed base salary. So when they reworked the contract, they could actually knock down those numbers as far as zero if they wanted to. But, as you're restructuring, you're pushing money into future years and things like that. So what the Saints could do, in theory, is rework the contract if they were to acquire him, knock those 2025, 2026 numbers way down, or just adjust them in such a way to where he gets some guaranteed money in 2025. And the reason why that could be important if you're restructuring in 2024 is if you're going to move a second-round pick and additional draft picks or additional, considerations, as it were, you probably don't want it to just be a one-year rental. And you have Derek Carr for at least one more year here. And so keeping Derek Carr and Davante Adams together for 2 seasons might be a good idea for you if you're the New Orleans Saints. So there's some easier ways to maneuver the future money than there are ways to maneuver the present money. But that one looks like big, scary numbers, but way more manageable once you kind of dig into it and see that those numbers are majority non-guaranteed.
Okay. Does it make sense for an aging roster to give up future assets, which would, by definition, make you younger, draft capital, for a receiver who's nearing 32 years old?
Yeah, I think it depends on what's more important to you as an organization. Is it more important to you to put yourself in the best position to win now, or is it more important to you to hold on to draft capital that you can invest next year that will hopefully pan out for you within the next 4 or 5 years, right? Because that's really the thing that we're talking about here. If you're the New Orleans Saints and you make a trade like this, it's because you believe that you are a Davante Adams away from being a competitor in the NFL. Now, 99% of the population could turn around and feel the other way, that might not be the case. But all that matters is how Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen, Gail Benson, and the New Orleans Saints organization feels. If they feel that that's the case, then that's the route that they go. And then it just becomes what's more important. Are you trying to compete now? Are you trying to win games now? Are you trying to potentially save your job now? Are you trying to save your season now? Or are you more worried about what a 2nd and 5th round pick might look like 4 years from now? I think that as of considering that there's a 3-year playoff drought and considering that no one's future is guaranteed in the NFL, I would imagine that the former, winning now, is more important to this organization than the latter of how a draft pick might pan out in 4 to 5 years from now.
I think it's abundantly clear by the Saints' behavior as an organization. They are in perpetual win now mode.
Yep, absolutely right.
Do you think the Saints are a Davante Adams away from being a contender?
I think that just about any team in the NFL is a superstar away from being a contender. I believe that about any NFL team for the majority of the cases. I don't know that I believe that about the Patriots. I don't know that I believe that about the Jaguars.
What about the Raiders?
The Raiders are instead, they're on the other side of that conversation. They are a superstar away from rebuilding their organization is really kind of like their viewpoint. Okay. And so, or their vantage point. And so I think most teams in the NFL that see themselves as contenders are a superstar away from being a contender. And so if Davante Adams can show up to a team and be that superstar level player or high level star player that's needed, then yeah, I think that he could help you become a contender. Do I think that if the Saints land Davante Adams, that they are a Super Bowl champion caliber team? No, but I don't think that that's necessarily what you're looking for if you're New Orleans either. You're trying to get back to the playoffs and then see if you can take advantage of that opportunity. What I do believe is that if Davante Adams shows up in New Orleans, they are a team based on what their new offensive system has looked like, that if they can get out of their own way and out of Davante Adams, then they are a playoff team, or at least a playoff caliber team when it comes to the talent on their roster if they can stay healthy.
Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, and make sure you read Ross's stuff with us over at LouisianaSports.net. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, bud. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
That is Ross Jackson. This is AFR, brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. He explained that way better than I could have. GeneratorPeople.com. Goodbye, Optimize. If you're thinking about a Generac automatic home standby generator, we're still in storm season. It's still hurricane season. There's threats of storms next week as well. You know the drill with a generator. Power goes out, boom. Your whole home generator comes on, powers your whole house as if nothing ever happened. All your appliances, your HVAC system, your pool, anything. Powers the whole thing. You understand that. So who wouldn't want a generator? Everybody would. And who wants to be sitting there with no power? Nobody. So the question's, who do you call and can you afford it? Well, you call Optimize. They're the generator people. They do one thing: sell, service, install Generac automatic home standby generators. Tell you that every day. Lake Charles, Slidell, anywhere in between on the 1012 corridor, they got a location near you. They're the generator people. The #1 Generac dealer in the state of Louisiana. Can you afford it? Yeah. Get $600 for a down payment. They can finance. They have tons of financing options to meet any budget. Of course, you can always pay for it up front, whichever best suits you. But they'll work with you to get you that Generac automatic home standby generator. It's optimized. Generator People. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. All right. We missed Russ last week. Thrilled to welcome him back. When we come back, Russ Mitchell, College Football News, will join us. We'll get his thoughts on Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss's choke job against Kentucky. What in the world did Auburn do against Oklahoma, and slate of games this week? It's all coming up with Russ Mitchell next. AFR.
AFR.
Glow Resources, glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions. If you're a business owner, you're looking to be more efficient, you're having trouble finding the right people for that job, those hard-to-find jobs, Glow Resources can help you find those people, no matter if they're here in the state, if they're in the United States, or if they're anywhere in the world. I've told you some of these jobs that they've had where they'll place people. They'll go find people. They have a Baton Rouge company that they were working for. They found an employee in Florida to do the work in California. It's Glow Resources. They've got a huge net of resources to be able to find the right people for the job you're trying to fill. They're honest with their clients. They'll let you know what the market is reflecting. If they're able to help, they don't want to waste your time or theirs. It's worth that phone call to Glow Resources. Check them out online at GLO. glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions, glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
All right, let's do it. Russ Mitchell. College football news joins us here on Wednesdays. How are you?
Oh, kicking tires, lighting fires, baby.
Yay. We fixed it. It's so good. Hey, okay, everybody's talked about it. Here's your shot. Bama, Georgia. Which way do you want to go?
You know, I don't know how anybody can think Georgia is a national championship contender after that. National championship contenders don't go down by 28 to anybody, anywhere, ever. I mean, was Michigan ever down by 28 points last year? No.
The one we talked about was the Cam team in 2010. Was that 21 or 24 nothing? You know what I'm talking about? Where they were down to Bama and they rallied.
21.
21.
I'm pretty sure it was 21. I mean,
that's significant.
Yeah, that's a good point, but it's still 28. 28. I mean, they have one first down in the first half. I mean, just absolutely embarrassing.
Put your phone on silent. What are you doing?
I know. I'll put my phone on silent here. You know,
rookie mistake. Clean it up, Mitchell.
The one thing I would say, conversely, which is interesting because everyone wants to crown Alabama now, is how many rushing yards did they have in the second half? 12? Can you imagine Nick Saban allowing a team to come back at home by that many points? I mean, he would have his team so focused in the second half, they would think that they were losing.
I'm just nodding in agreement. It's a point that I've made this week, Russ, but I also understand very well that there is not a soul that will take anything that I say about Alabama with any degree of objectivity. And I'll say it. And I completely understand that. I've made that bet and I'll sleep in it. But yes, you blew a 28-point lead at home. That's atrocious. It can't be ignored. Like that's atrocious.
Atrocious. 12 yards of rushing in the second half. I mean, that's like epically bad. And it took Georgia absolutely falling apart on that long pass to Ryan down the sidelines. I mean, it was an epically bad last play that Georgia's defense allowed there for that touchdown bomb. But, you know, just all around, I cannot imagine what Nick Saban would have been doing on the sidelines if he had been coaching Alabama and they had allowed Georgia to come back from that.
For what it's worth, I just checked. 22. It was 24. The Cam game was 24-0.
24.
But that was and that was in Tuscaloosa as well when Cam led that comeback. So there's at least some precedent there for that. But the other thing I would say though, the other thing I would say though is about Georgia, where you started, just to kind of give the counterpoint. To say that they're not a championship contender, the Georgia we saw in the second half is a very clear indicator of a team that is capable, I think, of beating anybody. If they had they not thrown up on themselves in the first quarter, but they did. But that's about as bad as you could possibly play.
You're cherry picking now. I mean, and you know, one game is that I would say one game is the exception to the rule, not the rule. If you look back throughout history at teams that dominated enough to win a national championship in a sport that's got over 100 teams playing in it, they don't go down by 28 points. So I don't see how this Georgia team, unless the only thing they've got going for them is that it's a 12-team playoff. If they can improve so dramatically over these last 3 months to get to the point that they can not be a team that can surrender 28. By the way, it's not like Georgia has been that fantastic earlier in this season. They've been good. They're a top 12 team, a top 10 team. But they haven't been dominant like you expect from a team that you're going to say is a national championship winner.
Dog, you and I were sitting there in Vegas together watching what they did to Clemson.
In the second half. And Clemson's not an elite team.
The defense, Georgia's defense was great the whole game, and Clemson has gone and hung 60 a couple times and actually might be the best team in the ACC. Might be.
That's like saying, your cousin is the best cousin.
It's more impressive. It's more impressive than Alabama beating up on Wisconsin. Is all I'm saying. Yeah. I'm just saying don't give up. I mean, hey, bro.
I'm not giving up on Georgia. Like I said, they're a top 10 team. They're going to get a chance to go into the playoff. And if they improve dramatically over the next 3 months, who knows? Who knows where the chips will fall? Who knows who's going to get injured? Right, and how that's gonna impact things. Ask Florida State how that works out.
Yeah, no doubt.
But just go through history and ask yourself how many times a team surrenders 28 points in a quarter, and that's your national champion for the season.
I mean, I watched LSU losing 3 overtimes to an Arkansas team that won 7 games. I mean,
yeah, and that wasn't 28 points in a quarter.
Oh, they gave up 28 points in a quarter in that game. But that wasn't 20. Saturday, they gave up 21 in the first quarter. They gave up 28 in the quarter.
Without scoring. I'm saying 28 points. Don't talk to me about LSU's defense because you promised me.
They're better. I promised you they were better. Are they not better?
Well, they're better against being ranked dead last in the conference.
Yes, they're better.
Wow.
They're better. Russ, are they not better? I didn't tell you they were going to be great or even good. You said, are they going to be better? And I said, yeah, they're going to be better. And they are. They're better. They're better.
Are there any other freshmen that LSU can play on defense? Or are they right now playing every freshman on the roster?
I mean, you might see a couple young linebackers. You can get Devon Keys in there a little bit. Xavier Atkins, let him run around a bit. See a little bit.
If you want to know if the coaching staff is preparing for next year, just look at how many true freshmen you're playing across the starting defense in September.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot. Hey, can Ole Miss recover?
That's such a great question because, everybody always gets so excited about their team if they play nobody. It's sort of like the NFL fans that get excited when their team does well in the preseason. It's like the Chicago Bears fans who are like, we're going to the Super Bowl because they go 4-0 in the preseason when no one cares what's going on, right? Coaches it's like LSU spring baseball or fall ball where coaches walk out on the field and go, all right. Now we're in the 6th inning and there's runners on first and third and they walk back in. It's like just make believe. So how good is Ole Miss? Well, we only have one game to judge how good Ole Miss is, and it's an average Kentucky team at home. And they schooled them. So I don't have any faith at all in Ole Miss being a top 10 team anymore. Zero.
Okay.
I mean, zero.
How do you think it goes this weekend? Now I'm going to jump ahead, though. Then how do you think Ole Miss looks this weekend against a South Carolina team that's coming off a bye, too?
Yep, coming off a bye. By the way, LSU's defense, I just want to point out, is ranked 14th in the conference. And in yards per play, which is the better way to rank them, they're 15th out of 16. Yeah, they're better.
I would say they're better. But I will say this, and I think this is worth mentioning. And you can disagree if you'd like, but I do think it bears mentioning that who you have played. In September, when a lot of people had 3 or 4 layups, LSU did play Southern Cal and UCLA and South Carolina on the road. So they were tested more than if they had played Kennesaw State or something like that. So okay. I'm not but again, I'm not saying they're good, Russ. I'm not stupid. I have eyes. I know what I'm saying, right? But they are. I think when you will see averages play out, and they will be better as averages play out because they've been tested more than other teams have right now.
I mean, we can jump ahead if you want to. The South Carolina game is going to be really interesting because they did put up 33 points on LSU. They put up 50 on Akron. So, I mean, can South Carolina suddenly score points? And Ole Miss has got to figure out how to run the ball. They've got to figure out how to run the ball. They ran for only 3 yards a carry on 30 carries against Kentucky. And, and if you lose to Kentucky and South Carolina in the same year, I don't care how many games you win from that point on, you're not going to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. So you're saying if they went and they still have Georgia on the schedule as well, and they got to come to Baton Rouge, so that's hard to imagine, man.
And they just lost to Kentucky. This is Kentucky's first win, isn't it? Their first win against a ranked opponent in the SEC since. What was it, since 1978? Or was it?
It was like the 70s, 77, something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, like, the Ole Miss fan is so excited.
Oh, man.
Look at just get a little historic perspective in this. Like, was that Jimmy Carter? By the way, Jimmy Carter's birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
You know how old Jimmy Carter was yesterday?
Did he die?
No. His wife passed away. Remember?
Okay, his wife. He's 100?
100. He was 100 years old yesterday.
Why do presidents live? Why do presidents live to be so old?
Well, they get good health care. I mean, it's not 100 years since the last time Ole Miss showed that level of ineptitude. But that was a bad loss for the Rebels, a bad loss for a team that wants all of us to believe that they're a national championship caliber team.
He's Russ Mitchell. Let's not got a quick break. We'll come back. We'll pick up on, I got to ask you about Auburn, the Auburn-Oklahoma game. My God, Auburn. And then we'll get to the other games this weekend, including number 9 Missouri at Texas A&M. This feels like it's a show me, prove it type moment for Missouri. We'll get to that. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders. If you're thinking of buying or building that pool, the outdoor kitchen, you want to beautify your outdoor space, build that backyard oasis, Duplessis Builders can help you do it. Been telling you about my buddy Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders, LSU alum, mechanical engineering, minor in aerospace engineering, was working as an engineer, decided he was going to pivot, built a pool for his sister, ended up building 8 pools the first year. Next year built more than 60, and now he's the fastest growing pool builder in our market. And he does everything according to accepted engineering practices. It's why he builds a product that's beautiful, that will last. For example, it takes 2 weeks for concrete to cure. So they're not going to move on to tiling and coping for 2 weeks. They're going to take the time to do it right. Like Derek always says, it's the line from Gucci. Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. They're the best. DuplessisBuilders.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile.
on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Two teams that had devastating fourth quarter collapses, Auburn and Georgia, will play this weekend, the Deep South's oldest rivalry. We get to that in a second with Russ Mitchell, but I'm going to put this one on a tee. Hey, Russ, Florida is a home underdog against Central Florida this weekend. How does that make you feel?
I love all my children the same.
No, you don't.
Even the Knights, who are not technically one of my child, they're in the neighborhood, but they don't. They're over at my house eating my food all the time, but they're not my child. Florida had the bye week. They're coming off a bye week, and they're still gonna lose at home. Again, basically, it comes down to whoever runs the ball better in this game. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, I know, as you pointed out in the last segment, it's early in the season, but UCF was leading the country in rushing before the Colorado game. They only rushed for about 200 against Colorado, so now they're ranked second best in the country in rushing. So whoever gets a better rushing attack in this game, Florida or UCF, I'll point out that UCF's run defense is ranked 11th, and the Gators' run defense is ranked 10th. So, the Gators' run defense is 110th.
What a setup.
So, I think I'm going to take the Knights in the swamp.
Maybe last week was a look-ahead spot for Central Florida. Thinking about their trip to Gainesville, they got punked at home by Coach Prime in Colorado. Hey, what do you think about that Auburn-Georgia matchup? I mean, I think we probably agree Georgia's a vastly superior team and is going to win this game at home. But, man, what a collapse for Auburn last week at home.
Yeah, to be up against a freshman quarterback whose stat line looked good, It looked okay, and of course he had that big running play on the first series of the game. Hawkins Jr. we're talking about for Oklahoma, but he's good, but I mean he looks like a deer in the headlights. He looks like an 18-year-old, like with 90,000 people screaming in his face, and to have that kind of lead and allow that pass, that was the first completion to Hester all season, right? Just an epic collapse, and once again. Auburn with a massive turnover, and there's your difference in the game, so just very disappointed. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Hugh Freeze. If you can win at Ole Miss and you can win at Liberty, you should be able to win at Auburn.
Do you think Hugh is in any trouble at all there? I mean, Auburn has been known to be kind of reactionary.
That was the understatement of the season. That was the understatement of the season. Yes, their boosters do have a tendency to be a little reactionary. I could make a very funny joke about something, but I won't because I don't want to get in trouble. But I would say no. He's a good coach, and he's proven he can win at organizations that have much less to offer than Auburn does. So, he's just got to find a quarterback, and Thorne obviously isn't that quarterback. He's at best serviceable, and that's what comes down. They're dead last. Auburn is dead last in the conference in turnover margin. But, for the record, Georgia's not that far off. Georgia right now, just to tag onto that last segment where we were talking about Georgia, Georgia's ranked 12th in the conference in turnover margin. They're flat 0. They're taking the ball away as much as they're giving it away. So I obviously Georgia's the favorite here. I think they're probably favored by more than 3 touchdowns. But let's see how Georgia starts. Let's see if they can actually score points in the first quarter.
Missouri and Texas A&M.
Yep.
A&M, but before I ask you about Missouri, because this is the first real test for Missouri. Like, they've not been impressive, but they are undefeated. They're ranked 9th. This will tell us a lot going on the road to College Station. But do you think that A&M should stick with Marcel Reed or go back to Connor Wegman if he's healthy and when he's healthy?
I mean, he got outplayed last weekend by Tyler Green from Arkansas. But Taylon Green is outperforming a number of people. He's ranked 13th period in rushing in the conference, the 13th best runner in the conference, and he's the 5th best quarterback in passing yards. So but still I would stay with Reed over Wegman. Absolutely. He's given this team a jolt that it needs. And, you talk about, by the way, this is the only ranked game in college football this weekend.
That's wild.
How sucky is that? I'm not going to be as critical because, as we saw last weekend, we can have great games that aren't necessarily ranked opponents. And we're now in October, so we should have had – so there's a little bit of chance involved in this. But that sucks, man, that we're in the first weekend in October and we only have one ranked game, and it's – what is it? Number 9 versus number 25, right?
Yep.
The big thing you're watching in this game is what the heck has happened to Mizzou's passing offense. It was ranked top 20 in the country last year. It returned almost everybody, and now it's ranked in the bottom 20, basically. It's like 82nd this year. Oh, and by the way, A&M's pass defense, 94th in the country. So
surprising.
If Mizzou can't get their passing offense back, I mean, they really should have lost to Vandy. They should have lost to Vandy. If the Vandy kicker kicks the field goal,
I know.
They're so we got to see what Mizzou can do with their passing offense. If they don't get that passing offense going again, then Mizzou's not a top 15 team.
You think they win?
I do.
Okay. You think Mizzou? By the way, that's 11 a.m. Central, so that's an early game. So to your point, the only ranked-on-ranked matchup in the country is an 11 a.m. kickoff. I mean, yeah. So there's games, Russ. I mean, Auburn, Georgia. You would assume that would be a heralded game. There's Florida State Clemson is this weekend. That I don't think anybody thought Florida State would be what they are, obviously. So there's some that on the schedule before the season looked like tasty matchups. Iowa is at Ohio State. That Iowa's unranked right now. So, think
about this.
On the marquee that look good, but when you dig into it, really aren't.
If you're living on the West Coast and you have a few too many drinks on Friday night and you wake up late on Saturday morning, all the ranked games are over. You might as well just go roll over and go back to sleep.
He's Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Y'all give him a follow. By the way, things are quite good down here at DBU. No game this weekend. So when we're talking next week, we'll get a chance to talk about LSU and Ole Miss. Man. Hey, by the way, did you pick a winner? Ole Miss, South Carolina?
I didn't. I think that Ole Miss, we talked about this a second ago. For me, this game's going to come down to when Ole Miss has the ball, and it's South Carolina's. It's going to be in the trenches. So if you're watching one thing in this game, you're watching when Ole Miss has the ball, can they run it? They've got to be able to run it. They've got to be able to get more than 3 yards a carry. And conversely, if you're South Carolina, can you play defense like you did against LSU for particularly much of the first 3 quarters? Can you stop Ole Miss from being able to run it? So that's what this boils down to.
He's Russ Mitchell. All right, we'll do it again next week. I hope you don't sleep in on Saturday.
No, I'll be up.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. All right, that's Russ Mitchell. Hey, I want to remind you about Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Hey, I want to remind you, 2 things. Thursday, make plans, y'all. Tomorrow, Thursday, make plans. Tomorrow, Thursday, Wine of the Week, 2018 Harlan Estate. This is the second most expensive wine out of Napa. It scored a perfect score, a 100-point wine, a perfect score across all 3 major reviewers. They're going to bust open a bottle of 2018 Harlan Estate, and they're going to sell it by the ounce. This is every Thursday now. You want to try an exquisite wine? Here's your opportunity to sample it by the ounce. $100 an ounce. You want to try it, a wine that maybe you or I would never have an opportunity to buy or to try, you could do it at Supper Club. And remember also, it's not just the wine. It's also Thursday prime rib over at Supper Club. 21-day dry-aged, bone-in tomahawk ribeye served as prime rib there by Chef Layton. I was talking to him today. He's only got 7 for tomorrow. So this is a super, super, super exclusive featured item Thursday only. He's only got 7 for tomorrow. And by the way, it's so big, it could feed 3 to 4 people, and they priced it at $150. So that's $50 a head? Y'all, I'm telling you, make plans now to be at Supper Club on Thursdays. It's going to be a happening spot. Go try the prime rib. Get you a pour of the 2018 Harlan Estate Supper Club. Get your reservation right now, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Okay, let me knock out our final break. We'll come back. Otter Locks. So, again, with all the base of the day baseball, Jimmy's been doing a great job getting Otter Locks up at louisianasports.net earlier in the day. So make sure you're checking. I did tweet out the link as well. Just make sure you're checking louisianasports.net for Otter Locks, especially while there's day baseball. So I'm trying to see what Jimmy had today. He did hit on all of his plays yesterday. It was a 4-0 day for Jimmy yesterday, by the way. Can we give our guy a ding? Let's see. He had the Astros today. That was a no-go. That missed. He had, let's see, under in Orioles. Did that start yet? Is it over?
I don't think it's over, but it definitely started. It was 1-0 the last time I saw.
The total was 7.5. He had the under in that one.
It's 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th.
Okay, let's go. That one's looking pretty good right now. So we'll see. All right, we'll get the rest of the plays from the Otter when we come back for Otter Lock. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. It doesn't matter if it's car wreck, big truck wreck, personal injury, workers' comp. If you've been injured, it's not your fault. You need representation. Gordon has been going to bat, and his team have been going to bat for injured people in our state for more than 30 years. They're all over the state as well. They've helped more than 10,000 Louisiana residents, more than 10,000 clients over the last 30 years, y'all. And they've recovered more than $2 billion in damages. It's almost hard to wrap your head around that sum. But it's worth mentioning again. You need someone to represent you to get what you're entitled to. Go to the best, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. GetGordon.com, GetGordon.com. Again, online, GetGordon.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Remember, trivia, 7:30 Blue Bond at 8 o'clock Nicholson. All right, one thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
What a day for our guy. A little 4-0 day on the diamond. Take that. What do you do for an encore? Well, let's find out. Otter had the Astros on the money line earlier today. Otter Locks was posted at louisianasports.net. So missed there, but 3 more games, 2 in the hopper, 1 underway. Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you?
I'm doing really well, man. Congrats. Big day yesterday on the right side, up and down the card. It's always a good feeling.
Yeah, man. 3 dogs came in, but we lost a favorite today, man. The Astros blew a 2-1 late inning opportunity, and man, just I guess it finally had to come to an end. But man, that was disappointing. the lack of hitting for the Astros in the last two games. The only 2 runs they got today were really kind of some misplays, bunt singles, walk, hit batsmen, misplay in the infield by the Royals, kind of steal, and then they hit into a double play with first and third with 1 out to try and expand upon the lead. And a guy that's been one of the great, really pivotal relievers, Presley, kind of gave up the runs in the 8th inning. So Tigers on to the ALCS, man.
How about it?
The Cinderella run continues, man. So A.J. Hinch was the manager during the garbage can era. He's back with Detroit, and now he goes and beats them in Houston. So probably Alex Bregman's last game as an Astro, too.
Yeah.
I would say chances are he'll be somewhere else next year. He hit the ball in the button today, just hit some really poor luck.
Yeah. Terrio told us he thinks Bregman's heading to Arizona. So
okay,
see what it ends up being. So Tigers, Guardians in the divisional series. Yankees are waiting the winner of Royals, Orioles. And then we'll see what happens in the NL as well. All right, Otter, let's get into tonight, man. I know you had I mentioned this. You had the under in Kansas City, Baltimore, under 7.5. That's looking good right now. We got 2 more.
In game is 5.5 plus money right now if you wanted to try and middle it. But for this, the same thing with the Orioles. Now it's mental as well. And the Royals in this run they have not hit, but their bullpen is really tough. It's going to be tough for the Orioles to come back here. We're going with the Mets. Talking about a hot
1 minute remaining.
I mean, they've been as hot as anybody, and they needed. They handpicked this, this opponent in the wild card round by tanking in the second game. And Manaya's been an unsung hero. He's been on fire lately. So we're going with the Mets plus money. I was set to take the Braves coming back at a big price, but $1.20, $1.15 earlier. Now it's $1.25. I still think this is way, way too cheap not to go with a much better team, comparable matchup at home tonight. So San Diego and the Mets money line tonight.
All right, San Diego and the Mets on the money line. All right, Otter, Thursday. Where are y'all tomorrow?
Original walk-ons on Burbank, getting ready for LSU Ole Miss.
Very good. All right, Otter, have a great night. Good luck. Talk tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott. It's after further review. You miss anything AFR on demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your teatimegolf.breck.org. Muse, Paulie, have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Parish Restoration, parishbuilt.com. Same website for everything. Just go to parishbuilt.com. Hit the restoration tab. You can learn more about that patented non-toxic dry fog treatment that I always tell you about. Kill mold, remove odor, sanitization, great product there as well. Maybe you have a medical facility or a school. There's schools and medical facilities that will keep Parish Restoration on retainer. So every year they just come back and they'll fog the school before the school year, or maybe twice a year. So you do it during during the winter break. It's Parish Restoration. This is easy. And it being a dry fog, remember this means you don't have to worry about pulling out carpet or furniture. You're not cutting sheetrock. If you have mold, think you might, boom. This will knock it out. You walk into a fresh, clean-smelling home, office building, whatever that space may be, that is sanitized, mold, and odor-free. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com. Hit the restoration tab.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial products.